Welcome to the Outcast Trading Channel. My name is Io, and today we'll be doing the weekly update for Bitcoin. If you like the content, please like the video, subscribe, and if you're going to join our community, click on the link in the description below and join our Discord. So let's get into this video. So we are on Bitcoin CME on the weekly right now. The weekly closed about a couple hours ago, or an hour and a bit ago, and we see that Bitcoin was able to close above the 200 simple, however below the 200 exponential. We were looking to see if Bitcoin could actually close above the 200 exponential like it did last week, but apparently it just got trapped between the two 200s, which is okay. It's not a death sentence or anything. It's just consolidating right here under these moving averages. Nothing really to see. I guess next week we'll get a bit more of a resolution on this. We're still on a downtrend. Still will be under the daily 21 and this little lower high over here, this gap, this kind of area is the area I'm looking at to call a bit of a bigger bounce than just this thing over here. I wouldn't call it a full-on macro reversal, but I would be starting to get a bit more bullish around here. However, given this consolidation below the 200s and it trying to bounce right here, I'm still somewhat bullish. I don't want to get or come across as too bullish, but it is okay for now, at least for a local low, and trying to at least make a lower high over here, or maybe even an actual reversal. But for now, first things first, and it has to still get through these 200s, the 200 exponential, 200 simple, and at least get to the 21, and then we'll talk about an actual reversal. Let's see the Stokes. The Stokes looked like they crossed last week. However, they didn't cross the actual critical zone, so nothing really to update here. And the RSI is still stuck below the EMA, so nothing really to report here. Let's go down to the daily. Daily bouncing off the 21 on 21 exponential. Bit of a faded bounce here. This wick is not really too bullish, but still a bounce regardless. I think earlier today it looked a bit more bullish because it was actually further up, but it actually closed okay, and it closed green. Still a bounce. We're still on an uptrend on the daily. Here's a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and higher low. Even though this is not confirmed, higher low. We'll still have to see in the next coming days, probably next week, because this is CME. There was no bearish divergence, even though on the spot there was, but we'll get to that. And Stokes are actually crossing down, not from the critical zone. They've been flat for a little bit here, so there's not really nothing too actionable. And RSI, again, no divergences, but bouncing off this this EMA over here. Anything else to update here? I think I can say a bit more when we get to the actual spot price action. 12 hour still uptrend. I mean, you can technically call this a bit of a downtrend here, but because there's a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low, technically a lower high here. However, I look at it more as with this actual move over here. Still above the previous range high, range top, and actually retesting it again as a support. I think this is better seen on spot. Again, I'll get there. And Stokes are down. If it's still respecting this uptrend over here, I'm not 100% bearish. It closed below 21k on CME. That would be considered much more bearish, and then with targets further down. But as long as it's making higher lows and higher highs, I can't be mad at this chart. Yeah, it's just consolidating around here. Okay, I think I'm just going to move down to spot and we'll talk further about this. Okay, so spot weekly has not closed yet. It's still trading above the 200 simple. 200 exponential is way far at 26.5. So it's not really something to really talk about. But as long as it's closing above the 200 simple, I mean, there's nothing really to complain here. Just a bit of a backfill on the weekly, and hopefully we can see this turn blue by the time turn green by the time it closes on Sunday. And actually confirm an actual backfill. But yeah, as long as it's closing above the 200 simple, I'm not too bearish. It'll have a chance to cross the critical zone on the Stokes on spot, which we don't see on CME. But it would need for the weekly to close green for it to actually cross the critical zone and give somewhat of a signal. So for now, we'll just leave it there. Anything else on the weekly? No, that's looking good. Okay, it's looking okay, at least for this kind of a bounce here. Yeah, let's go down to the daily. So here we did have the bearish divergence that we were talking about last week on the RSI, and the main target for that was the 21, which was hit perfectly fine. We talked about this in the last video. We talked about this a lot in the Discord, and we were waiting for this bounce on the 21, and it's actually on spot. It's looking a lot better than on CME. We did not get this tap of the 618 that we were looking at because the daily 21 and this previous range top they aligned, and they provided quite the bounce here. Will the 618 actually get tapped? I don't think so. I mean, it could just make a lower high and then come down to tap it, but I'm gonna take it off for now. I did see that this actually, let me take this off too. I did actually plot this 618 retracement here to see if this was an actual local low or actual higher low here. This could be a first target, but we would be looking for higher highs, given that if this is an actual higher low, we're looking for higher highs, given that this is an uptrend. But first things first. So I had in mind that it would tap the 55. That already happened. Next target will be the 618. That has not happened yet, and then we'll be looking for higher high to be established, which I might use the 12-hour to actually plot. Daily. Let's look at Stokes. Stokes look like they want to cross back up today. 23.4, 23.2. So it needs another $200 by the end of the day, which is in 40 minutes. Will we get that? Maybe not. Maybe we'll have to wait until tomorrow to get a bit of a cross back up on the Stokes. But again, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's not a signal by itself, so it doesn't really mean too much by itself. But given that it's bouncing off the 21, cross back up on the Stokes would actually be pretty nice. There's no hidden bullish divergence on the RSI. There's nothing to see here. Bouncing off the EMA, as long as it closes around here, yeah, I mean, it looks okay. Again, higher highs, higher lows. I'm happy to be bullish as long as Bitcoin is closing above 21.2. 22.5, 22.6 is the first red flag. If it closes below the daily 21 and this actual horizontal, that'll be a first red flag. Then I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't happy to be bullish if it goes below 21k. What is next? Okay, so next, let's look at the 12-hour. So the 12-hour actually has a lot more to say. I really like the 12-hour. So let's see. The 12-hour, you can see that this horizontal got respected very well. The 55, let me zoom in. The 12-hour 55 EMA got this bounce, same as the daily 21. Nice, very nice bounce. It closed above the 21 here, came back to and actually backfilled this candle. And it's still maintaining the uptrend, as we were saying. Stokes actually need a bit more work to actually cross back up, so maybe this weekend is a bit of consolidation around here, and maybe in the first couple of days of the week it actually has the chance to actually push back up to make a higher high. Again, this is not this is an educated guess because I can't really predict the future, but it is the next logical step as long as it's maintaining this uptrend. What I did see, which is something that Jackie and Mark, we actually pay attention to a lot. So when these two cross, the 200 exponential and the 200 simple, it tells us that there's a waning of momentum, in this case to the downside. What are we looking at here? We're looking at this cross getting tapped and tested. When there's no actual way to tell when it's going to happen, but when this cross actually happens, the next logical step or the next thing that we normally see is price action be attracted to it, like a magnet. So it wouldn't surprise me that this makes a higher low here, and then we make a higher high trying to tap this 200 simple. How long will that take? I'm not sure, because this is a 12-hour, so it might take a couple weeks to actually get there. So maybe next week we'll have an update on this. But as long as this is held, then this will be my next target for now, the 200 simple, whenever that gets tapped. Any bearish divergence, hidden bearish divergence to see here? No hidden bearish divergence. No bullish divergence. Yeah, here we're just playing off this horizontal and the EMAs. Should we go down to the 4-hour? There is some hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour. Looks like that already played out to the 21. Yeah, nothing much here. I mean, for the next couple of days, it's going to be weekend price action, so we should not expect too much movement. Maybe between 22.5 and 24.5, which is 2,000, means 10% of price action. But I would not expect much movement over the weekend. Probably by mid next week we'll see a bit more of a move, and hopefully this is held, because it looks pretty good. It looks kind of bullish right here, with this support actually maintaining over here. So overall, let's go back to the daily. What am I looking at? I am looking at this uptrend to be maintained, a higher low to be formed over here, and a higher high in the making, which would be around, let's see, on the 12-hour, what's that? 26. I mean, between 25 and 26. Okay. We'll give some time for this 200 simple to come down and make this higher high up here. What would invalidate that? If you start to see Bitcoin close below this horizontal, this 21 EMA on the daily, that would be a first, as I said, red flag, and any closes below 21K, then this starts to lose its form, and then it would become quite a lot more bearish. But for now, higher highs, higher lows, we're trending. It's not a range anymore, it's an actual trend. So you follow the trend until it's not a trend. Yeah, and again, the next targets are around 25K. If you see Bitcoin rip to the upside, and go for that for that weekly 21 on CME, as we were saying. That's still to see, but for now, I'll be looking at that first resistance where that 12-hour 200 simple is. If you like this video, like and subscribe, join the community by clicking the link in the description, and I'll see you soon.